Good afternoon, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this afternoon. The final scores are just coming in with the games are finally finishing in Scotland, and I've got to say some interesting results this afternoon in Scottish football. Celtic obviously not playing today; they're having to play catch up tomorrow. Yes, having to play catch up tomorrow, and the league table hasn't changed much, but Rangers are top of the table. Rangers do find themselves top of the table this evening. They will celebrate that. Hearts aren't playing today, they're playing tomorrow. They are in second position on 66 points, and Celtic are on 61 points in third position. And the scorelines, we'll get into the scorelines. See how many people's in the chat. People are just getting in. There is only one game still playing in Scotland. It seems to be going on forever. 90 minutes plus 7 was allowed and seemed to be well over the 7 minutes. And it is full time. It is full time. So the full time in Scotland in the SPFL this afternoon is Hibernian 3, Kilmarnock 0. Kind of expected that one from Hibernian, with Kilmarnock being way down second bottom of the table. They will be in a relegation battle, and it's just a case of who will join them. Will it be St Mirren, Aberdeen, or Dundee? That's the three teams that could potentially go into the playoff position down there at the bottom of the table. Dundee United have made sure that they are well out of it, aren't they? They were unlucky today. Motherwell got beat today by Falkirk, and Falkirk were beating Motherwell 3-0 at one point when I checked it. It was Motherwell 2, Falkirk 3, Rangers 4, Dundee United 2, St Mirren 2, and Aberdeen 0. That is the scores this afternoon. Some interesting ones when it comes to, obviously the one that we're looking at would be the one at Ibrox. They would be thinking that they were getting away ahead at one point on goal difference, but Dundee United managed to close that down to the fact that they're only 2 goals better off at the end of the day. St Mirren got a good win. They're coming into a bit of form. Plays Celtic, obviously, a couple of times coming up. Is it a good time for St Mirren to be hitting form as they come to Celtic Park next week and then return to Hampden? A lot of people seem convinced that Celtic will beat them at Hampden. We shall wait and see with that one. And then I think the shock result of the day would have been Falkirk beating Motherwell. I think that is the shock of the day. You know, Falkirk cementing their place in the top 6 by beating. I mean, they're guaranteed. The top 6 is settled now. It was settled a couple of weeks ago, but I never saw that one coming, to be honest. Don't know. It now puts Motherwell in a precarious position because, don't know, Hibernian will be breathing down their back when it comes to trying to get up the table. Could it be that Motherwell drop a position between now and the end of the season? The fact that Hibernian won 3-0 today versus Kilmarnock, and Motherwell got beat at home by Falkirk, which, I don't think that Falkirk are going to close that gap and overtake Motherwell or Hibernian when it comes to the split, which is a couple of weeks away. Have 2 games before the split. You never know in football, though. Falkirk could go on a fantastic run after the split. They could beat Hibs. It's not going to happen, is it? There's not enough points on the table for them to jump up to either 5th position in the league table, but who cares? It's all about Celtic, and it comes down to it again, and I'm going to say it one more time: goal difference. Rangers are now 10 goals better off than Celtic, and I know that if Celtic win all their games, we can win the title. Are we convinced? Our lack of goals has been something that we've spoke about all season. I go back to around about November, December time. I said we started, and I pointed out then, we need to start scoring goals. I feared that this would happen going into the run-in. Celtic find themselves in this crazy position where they've only, there's 34 goals against. We've scored 50 the problem has been obviously the defence over the season. When you look at it from a goal scoring perspective, you're thinking to yourself, look, even though we've been rubbish all season, we have had the likes of a certain midfielder from Sweden being our top goal scorer. Where would we be? A lot of people don't like him, and that's the thing. A lot of people do not like our goal scorer, our top goal scorer, and do you know, we're not far off when it comes to goals scored. We've scored 56, Hearts have scored 53, Rangers have scored 60. It doesn't matter, does it? Because we've let in 30 goals, 34 goals this season. We've Hearts have let in 25 and Rangers 28. Rangers have put themselves. Listen, we're good enough at giving it out to them. They've managed to claw their way up the table. Could they sneak it? That would be the worst ever. It would. If they managed to sneak this league right at the death. But obviously tomorrow we're expecting Hearts to get the result that will put them back top of the table. It's unbelievable. It's like, which one of the ugly sisters do you want to date? None of them. Just both big, fat and ugly. Don't know, which one do you want? None of them. They're both big, fat and ugly. If you like big, fat and ugly girls, that's fine. But I'm just saying, that's the two ugly sisters, isn't it? I'm talking about Rangers and Hearts. Give that a break. Oh dear. Anyway, that's what the table looks like this afternoon. That is the results from today. When you look at the fixtures that are coming up tomorrow, Hearts are away to Livingston. You would expect Hearts to take a number of goals off Livingston. You'd expect them to win that game convincingly. The game that we're all looking forward to is Dundee, and let's face it, I really do not think that Dundee will be a pushover tomorrow. You know, Martin O'Neill and the boys will all be up in Dundee. They'll be over the Tay, won't they? Because they don't stay in Dundee. They used to stay at the Tay Hotel right down at the waterfront in Dundee, but I think the last time they stayed over at St Andrews and then just got the bus over in the morning. I think it was too risky them staying in Dundee at the same hotel. But yeah, they used to stay at the Tay Hotel. I don't know if they're there tonight or not. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just reading some of the interesting comments. And yeah, I'll jump into the comments in a couple of minutes, folks. And then we're looking forward to next weekend. Aberdeen versus Hibernian. You'd expect Hibernian to win that one. Celtic versus St Mirren. Well, St Mirren just won today, so they'll be thinking that they're coming into a bit of form at the right time. I mean, you've got to ask. St Mirren fans will be saying, do you know what? What would you take? Would you take going to Celtic Park and getting beat and then going back to Hampden and beating them? That's the way St Mirren fans will be looking at it. That is the way that they'll be looking at it. And then you've got Dundee United versus Livingston, Hearts versus Motherwell. That could be a tricky one for Hearts. Really, it could be a tricky one for Hearts, but you never know. I think that with obviously Motherwell dropping points today, I think that Motherwell would have thought that they would have beaten Falkirk and it'd give them that little bit of a cushion, especially at home. And it just shows you Falkirk are in the position that they are in the table on merit. It's not luck. Don't know. We've said it about Hearts this season. We've said that, you know, hard work and consistency, it can achieve loads. And that's where Hearts have found themselves in the position they're in. They don't expect to win the table, but Falkirk, you've got to give Falkirk credit. They've come up. It's their first year back in the top flight. They're absolutely loving the fact that they're back in with their three separate stands. And you know, they were whipping boys at one point of the season. They've lost 12 games. They've drawn 7. They've only won 13 games all season. But I'll tell you one thing, 13 gets you in the top half of the table. It's mental. Absolutely mental. But anyway, let's dive into the comments section. And is there any big? There's no big Celtic news. The Green Brigade were at The Celtic B match this afternoon versus Albion Rovers. See, I've never been to the land of the Twitterati for a couple of days. Let's see what has been said on that. Well, your Easter Lily versus Dundee. New silk scarves. 15 quid for a silk scarf. And that's it. Anyway, right, let's dive into. They won't be top at the end of the season, Baz. Don't worry, says Chowpel. Talking about the team that are at the top of the league at the moment. Yes. Is the Motherwell manager a real contender? Contender ready. Is the Motherwell manager a real contender to what we need at Celtic, or will the hierarchy at Celtic be going, look, he's not done it in a European context? For me, the prospects now are starting to narrow down, and if you're a betting man, I would say that there's only 3 contenders left at this point that are in serious contention for the Celtic job going forward. The first one is obviously Roberto Martinez, with his links to the current Celtic number 2, if that's what he's called, or if he's just known as Sean Maloney. The next one in contention has to be the Wales manager, whether you like the fact that he's not, and then Robbie Keane. For me, I think that those are the 3 that the Celtic hierarchy will be looking at seriously. And if it comes down to a final 3, and it's a case of pulling out the short straw, that's what it's going to be. You've got to look at the positives from the 3. Martinez has done kind of well, although his style of football is annoying the hell out of the Portuguese. When you look at Craig Bellamy, he was just a ball hair getting away for the World Cup. He is contracted until 2028 with Wales, though that is the big thing. Celtic would need to pay compensation to get Craig Bellamy. And then there's the Robbie Keane scenario. Robbie Keane's done well in Europe. It kind of puts him above the other 2, because Craig Bellamy, it's international football. Don't know, it's not too sure. To me, if I'm a betting man and you're looking at those 3 managers now, I would start watching money going to Robbie Keane. Tell me your thoughts. It's just the way you're trying to think the way that the Celtic board would try and think, are we? And none of us are able to do that, because none of us are that crazy, for starters. But yeah, he's going downhill quick still. Happy Easter. Thank you, mate. The Rotten got away with it today. United are the better side than typical United goalkeepers. I hope the board don't make it through next winter. It's a bit much. Well, I mean, winter flu is a terrible thing, but you wouldn't wish that on anybody. Danny Cassidy's coming with a couple of super chats. Thank you for that, Danny. And Dundee United just hit the post, and then the Rotten Mob scored their 4th right after it. Jamie Bars George. A lot of people not. Hansel imploded with those goals. Huns at Falkirk next week. I'm not really caring what the other teams are doing now, to be honest. I mean, I know it's good to come on and watch these results come through and see where we are in the table. But it's a hard shift for Celtic. If there is no leeway with Celtic, Hearts and Rangers are in a position where they can draw a game and they could still be in contention. The reality is, where we are sitting at this moment, I mean, the worst case scenario this weekend would be Hearts getting beat and Celtic to win. You actually want Hearts to win this weekend. Don't believe I'm actually saying that, but it is true, isn't it? So which one of the ugly sisters do you want to win? Don't forget that we are shite though. Yeah, I can't forget that, mate. Don't know. It eats away at me every single day. We have no chance of winning this league. Falkirk secured as third place today. You think that Celtic were secured in third place by beating Motherwell? Hey, let's get excited. Oh man, so that's the talks confirmed. They can work out the fixtures now. Yeah, you would think they would want to work out the fixtures, but they won't, will they? It is pretty much well, it is, isn't it? There is only 2 games left, and there's no way that it's now mathematically impossible for Dundee United to overtake. They always would say we'll wait till it's mathematically done and dusted. Well, that's it done. Let's just get the league sorted out for the last 6 and put us out our misery. Surely what they'll do now is they will get in touch with Police Scotland and everyone, and then I think that Celtic, going into the fixtures, Celtic will play Hearts. No, I think they'll play Rangers first. Do you think they will play Rangers and Hearts in the first 2 games of the split? Because it's kind of done this early, we could play Rangers straight after the split and then play Motherwell and then play Hearts and they play Hibernian and Falkirk. So they may have, play Rangers first, Rangers, Motherwell, Hearts, Hibs, Falkirk, last game of the season. You never know. You never know. But yeah, they can get it sorted out, get it confirmed. Livy will be packed tomorrow. Yeah, it will that. At their usual today. Let's go on. Dundee United should get booted right out the SPFL and get that pitch in order. We can't blame the pitch. We cannot go back to that game and blame that pitch because Dundee United had to play on the same pitch. We were woeful. There's no appetite. It's like the comment this morning. We've got a temporary manager, we've got temporary players, and we've got the board that are temporarily just not giving a shit about Celtic. Livy are playing for their lives. Hearts won't get it easy. Livy are done league-wise. Livingston are just playing for pride now. Hence the reason that their manager stepped down. They've got an ex-Rangers player as manager now, if they're not. And you've got to remember the Livingston manager stepped down and went upstairs. That was sneaky, wasn't it? We're going to get absolutely pumped the whole season. And, we're not going to do anything. So I'm going to step down and I'm going to step upstairs. We'll give somebody else the job, take it in the neck. And then when we get relegated, I might come back into football. You never know. Funnier things have happened. But, I mean, Livingston, I think that Hearts will take at least 2 or 3 off them tomorrow to get their 3 points back in front of the Rangers. I mean, there is when you start to look at it, I mean, do you hope that Rangers beat Hearts in the final games and then Celtic need to beat the other 2, but then Celtic need to beat everyone? If Rangers beat Hearts, oh, Jesus. It's a hard one. Falkirk are a good side. They are that. That's why they're where they are in the league. No way Hearts will win 4-1. I think that game will be a draw. Ooh, where's the betting man? Wee question off topic. But these hype points, do you get any real game from it? I'm not too sure, Grab Boy. I'm not too sure. I see it, but I'm not. I don't. You don't get a financial gain anyway. I don't think it helps the algorithm. I think it's something that YouTube is working on. Off topic, I have just done a 4-week stint working with YouTube on a project where they're changing the dashboard behind. and I got picked to do that. So, but that's because I've got about 7 channels with them, and they know that. So, anyway, we move on. The list is getting worse and worse. The list is getting worse. Is that even a word? The Huns have a lot of tough away games now. Knowing the way DD does things, I bet they go and get Stevie Clark. Don't say that, Jim Lester. Jesus. Do you know what it'll be? Is everyone else will turn us down, and they'll be like, everyone else will be waiting, and they're going, hold the bus here. I mean, I'd come to Celtic if you're in the Europa, but if we end up in this conference debacle, do you know, are you going to get any of these, the three that we mentioned? Are they really going to want to come to Celtic? I don't know. Martinez won't be able to come till after the World Cup. Robbie Keane might go, do you know what, I just had a good run in the Europa. I don't really fancy having to go down a league in Europe. So it could be a case that we're going to have to win the Scottish Cup. And if we get put out the Scottish Cup by St Mirren in a couple of weeks' time, so they know how to beat us at Hampden. That's all I'm saying. With all these names everyone's naming, they won't be our next Celtic manager. Robbie Keane, Martinez, and Craig Bellamy. Now, they're the ones that are highly tipped to be Celtic. Yes, Paddy, back to watch-alongs tomorrow. Yeah, back to doing watch-alongs tomorrow. And Celtic know how to get the job done. As no, we don't want Hearts to win. Stephen has just broke the internet. We might fall behind again because of the semi-final we play. Yeah, exactly. That'll be another weekend where we will miss. No, there's no other games that weekend, is there not? The semi-final weekend game. Who knows? No, there isn't. There isn't, because it's between the split. So there isn't any SPFL games that weekend. It's just the cup games. So you actually have a week off from SPFL football. You have the cup games, and then it gives them a little bit of leeway. Usually when the league split happens, they have the cup games, gives them that 2-week period in case it's troublesome picking the exact. Neil McCann is next Celtic manager. Someone is punch drunk. I hope Neil McCann gets Kilmarnock relegated. Do you think they would beat us at Hearts? Just leave that there for a minute. Livy have to keep going until it's mathematically impossible. I think it's yeah, I know it's Bartley is Hibs. Is that his Hibs? Livy nearly beat us. Yeah, I can see it. 2-1 Dundee tomorrow. Right, with I'm not even going to do predictions. I'm not going to do predictions because we don't even know. I mean, Martin O'Neill will never give us any indication of who, and it's not Martin O'Neill's fault. Let's face it, because Martin O'Neill wasn't asked any questions whatsoever. He was asked about some of the players that may come back, but he wasn't really asked about much about the game. We know Kasper Schmeichel's out. He's gone. Never be mentioned again. Sinisalo start, Ross Dohan. We know that Alistair Johnston's now out, which leaves Liam Scales trusty at the back. Arrojo is out injured. So, I mean, who are we starting at the back? Is it going to be Kieran Tierney and Colby Donovan? You would think so. Some people are saying, like, can we not try and swap Sriracha over the other side to play in the same team as Tierney? it's not going to happen. I think that Colby Donovan will start at the other side ahead of Tony Ralston, even though he is a World Cup headed player. And then you've got Benji Negrin. Will he play tomorrow? Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who was interviewed by a Liverpool podcast. Arnie Engels, who's back in training. Is he even in contention for tomorrow? Or is it too early for Arnie Engels? Luke McCown, who just laughs at Callum McGregor's grey hair. Rio Hatate, who wasn't away with his World Cup to play in Scotland and England. He just got to kick about Glasgow at the same time. Paulo Bernardo. So the midfield is strong, but it's very, very weak, if you know what I mean. And then you have the players up front. Junior Adamu was spotted in training. Nobody mentioned that, as was what's his name? Yeah, Joe Mavuka. Anyway, we have an abundance. The fact that Jota is out, and you could say that Mikael Ange Balak-Wisha is out also. You've got Junior Adamo, you've got Big Tam the Czech, you've got Yang, you've got Kalechi, you've got Callum Osmond. Is he back or is he not? Nobody asked the question. Nobody asked the question, is we Callum Osmond ready to start playing football, Gaffer? No, nobody asked that. Nobody asked it. Sebastian Teretti was in training, as was Joe Mavuka, Dyson Maeda and James Forrest. So you've got an abundance of players that could play three up front. But those same abundance of players have scored hardly anything all season. The one joy is James Forrest has got to the end of the season and he's went, I've scored in 17 seasons. Milk, lemon chocolate, milk, lemon chocolate. That's the highlight of our season so far. James Forrest scoring again, even though he only scored once. But anyway, it's going to be a draw tomorrow. Oh my God! Don't say that. We are push up front. The Hearts and Hubs, the Hearts and the Huns the two Huns are scoring. It's going to call them the two Huns. No, Stevie Clark. Don't say that, Ali. I can't put that up. That's How about Celtic versus Rangers? Hearts versus Hibs, the last game of the season. Are you kidding on, man? There is absolutely no chance would they ever have a Glasgow derby the last game of the season. And I could bet. I don't bet, so never happen. Absolutely never happen. Helen wants Livy to win tomorrow. That would leave Rangers top of the table. What? Oh, they will beat us versus Falkirk in the Scottish Cup. That is scary, to be honest. I think it was us versus Falkirk in the Scottish Cup. Think so? I think that Lenny. Parkhead, sorry, rage typing. I'm going to say that I don't want Stevie Clark. It's going to be 2-1 tomorrow, and it'll be a slog. Tight pitch. It's actually a decent pitch up at Dundee. Don't know. It's always a good time. Where's this Stevie Clark push from? Get it to fuck. No, but I never mentioned him. He's not in my top three. Hugh Keevans will be creaming it for. I play 4-4-2 at Dundee. They battle and scrap like. It's who's at the top of the season at the end that counts. Well, tomorrow will give us a good indication if this team really have the fight that the fans have. Do the fans have fight this season? That's an opinion. And that's a poll question and a half, isn't it? Have the fans had fight this season? Should we do that as a poll? Let's do that as a quick poll. Just to get your thoughts. There's been 900 people on it. It's been a quiet one. This will be interesting. Just to get your thoughts on it. Just to get their thoughts on it. Poll question. Once it's come on. Ooh. Have the fans had fight this season? will be interesting because the fans have been split. Do you know, they've been split on various topics. They've been split on the Green Brigade. At the start of the season, I mean, fans were against the Green Brigade in mass numbers, saying that they were over privileged Neds that brought shame on the club and give them nothing but fines. And then they've spent 3/4 of the season saying, get rid of the board and bring back the Green Brigade. And it's an interesting one. You know, they've said, oh, we need the Green Brigade in to sing and make a noise in the stadium. The stadium's shite without the Green Brigade. So have the fans really had fight? The Celtic Fans Collective will say, yes, the fight has been there and we've taken it to the board. Taken it right to them. But what do you think on the channel that are live just now? Do you think that the fans have had fight this season? It's interesting. Because it's sitting, yes, they're at 32% and no's at 68% as we go on. Anyway, Forrest, Yang and Maida up front, I reckon. Oof, that would be... I would take the wee Huns on the last day if we could still win the league. I don't think it'll be them. I do think that Rangers will be the first game after this, or the second, and then we could face Hearts on the second last game of the season. If it's not the third last game of the season, I would say the second last. But they will try and make it so that it's exciting as is possible for TV, won't they? They're not going to think about the fans. Do you think it would be worth us playing Scales up front tomorrow? This is why I want this season over. This is really why I want this season over. Jim, you're completely bonkers, mate. You're completely bonkers. Play Scales up front. I suppose anything could happen. If I want the season over, just end it now. I think the board have taken our fight all by themselves, but I think we have it for the run-in. Fans haven't had any fight this season. How many protests outside games, for those who can? In the 90s, outside Celtic Park is the only way it should have been done. Gutless, says Big Rab. Gutless, talking about the fans. That's not me. Before people start coming, that's that comment that's there. People always think it's me that's saying these things. But that was Big Rab. Third last game versus the Huns. Ooh. Scales up front and I'd catch the shots in Ardrossan. The fans have had fight, but it will bite us in the ass next year. The boycotts will damage our ability to invest next year. The protests have done nothing, unfortunately, says Kev. I play kids versus Hearts and let Hearts win it. Said nobody ever. Said nobody ever. Anyway, right, that is my time come and gone this evening. Dearly departed, I shall be here back tomorrow morning with the resurrection of the watch-alongs. The resurrection of the watch-alongs shall commence tomorrow. So on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening. And after the game tomorrow, I'm going out. Not just out, I'm going out tomorrow night. So Celtic better win. Good. Anyway, let's end up that poll. It was just a little poll just to see that there's a small amount of people that have voted on it. And yeah, have the fans had fight this season? No, 69%. Yes, 31%. That is that. Anyway, the board shut the curtains on the protest. Yes, they did do that. Anyway, I shall see you in the morning. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans. Evening, wherever you are, all around the world.